All right, YouTube. I'm going to give this a warm up. Just to check in, I wanted to say hello. It's been a while. I don't know. When's the last time we did this? It's been a while. Um, but out here in the garden, we'll get through it. And if you see it on the replay, you see it on the replay. Our first fruits of the garden, we got some radishes already. I was hot and heavy this year on getting this in on time. I did not want to delay. And like last year, we had to take that trip out to Appalachian, if you remember. And so we are getting things in. We got seedlings. We got tomato seedlings we got in. We got some fruit down here somewhere. It's going good. These guys. So we are ahead of the game in some respects. But while we have successes, we also have failures. My peas, I am now like 0 for 5 on peas. I don't know what the deal is. This guy's the only one that's doing anything, and he didn't grow fast enough to get anything done. But cabbage, spinach, they're coming up. Had some issues with some of them. We had an incursion by the rabbits, of course, before we got the perimeter locked down. But I think I got that locked down now. We'll see. Planted corn here. Hope that was last week. We got the corn in. This is all our squash and what are those things called? Pumpkins. Squash and pumpkins that we got. And we've interspersed some sunflowers throughout. And watermelons we planted last week. So the watermelons are over here, this row. And we'll see what happens. But going hot and heavy. This is where the fight's at. This is where the action is. Get this stuff done because the food is what they're coming after. What's up, Rooster? M Long, what's going on? I got to get my beans in. I do have to get my beans in. We've got strawberries. We've been pulling some strawberries. Oh, another success. Thanks for checking in, guys. Artichokes. I had not successfully grown an artichoke. Now we've got 2. These were planted as seedlings. We didn't grow them from seed, but artichokes, first time we've had them actually grow. So inshallah, we will have some artichokes next year, I guess. They grow, I don't know, I don't think we'll get any off it this week, off this year, I mean, but 2 artichoke plants. So some successes there too. But yeah, this is where the action is. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention. There's some sunflowers that come up pretty quick. And this is that amazing seed. I think I talked about it last year, the year before. The seed that we got, this sunflower seed, is like 6 years old. It was just in a barrel. I have got half a barrel still. Not a 50-gallon barrel, but like a 15-gallon barrel. And it's still like half full of sunflower seed, and it still comes up. It's just stored in a container, gets exposed to heat, cold, everything, and these seeds are very robust. I can't remember what they're called. Black sunflower, black jacket sunflower, I don't know, black something or another sunflowers. And they are super hardy seeds. Very impressed. The bugs got in them, some kind of weevil or something got in them. They still, plenty of them are still able to produce. But I'm out here just weeding, and I wanted to check in and show everybody what's going on. I hope everybody's having success on your end. Tony, I think, he just did a video today too on his garden that he was putting out. So everybody's getting the work in, getting the things done, all the things, doing all the things. What's up, Ungrateful Wayne? How you doing, Wayne? Are you fully committed to Arizona now? I think. No, wait, you moved to Tennessee or whatever. Man, I know you moved, but it just took me a while to realize. Oh yeah, that's right. You're out here for so long. But I hope things are going well for you, Wayne. You definitely made a big move there, like Tony did. But man, everybody's doing the things that I've noticed. Southern Prepper 1, obviously putting out the good word. Really amping up his stuff. You know who's really went all out to the wall is Wrangler Star. He's full on militant rancher now. It's pretty awesome to see some of the stuff he's doing. But he's just putting all the tips and tricks out. So I know all the things are going on. Everybody talks about what we're being distracted from, and I think we're being distracted from nothing because it's all important. It's all relevant. Between the economic, the war. I posted a thing on the community page a while back about the study done about the impacts of war, a nuclear war, limited exchange and stuff, and how it would affect Ukraine crop output and Iowa and the crop belt and the corn belt, I mean. And I was like, well, they've taken out Ukraine. Pretty sure they're committed to getting that corn off the market and other wheat and commodities. And so Iowa, I would be worried if I was you, because you're probably next, because control of the food seems to be a large part of the agenda. So get your own supply of food. Probably number one, I mean, hey, we ain't been talking about this for no reason, right? East Tennessee, Wayne, yeah. I've known several people. I know a guy who recently moved, and actually he's down in South Carolina, I guess now. But a lot of people from the West Coast. He moved from Cali. But lots of good things out that way. But yeah, the agenda seems to be food control. You got to get yourself away from being controlled by food before you can focus on responding to whatever comes next. I wish if I had it inside. I still have butternut squash from last year that lasted through the winter on a shelf and still for animal feed. To give an example of, I know we talked about animal feed years ago, and that's, granted, we didn't feed them squash all winter, no, but it's a supplement, and I need to just like purge it so that not only we can make room, but it's definitely getting a little past ripe, I guess you'd say. But that it lasted all winter, and everything. Didn't freeze, and everything. We had that really wet winter, but it was on a shelf in the container of the garage, and worked out really well. And we still got a lot of it. Our butternuts did really well last year. This year we hope we get some more bigger pumpkins, but we do have plenty of other squashes mixed in here. I'm still waiting for the watermelons. I was saying earlier, I just planted those last week, so I want that watermelon. Digging the watermelon. But man, the pistol brace thing got everybody up in arms. Everybody's calling out that, and the president can't stand up, and not that we thought he ever could. Like, people still fall for the whole. There's people that are still going to vote for this guy. That's the really concerning part. Like, they've got people so convinced that both sides are against each other, and there's this struggle going on that people are still going to support this guy because, Trump. And there's people that support Trump. The defenders of Trump are all full swing into the election mode, just like, what are you even talking about? Did you pay attention his last 2 years? Man, they got so many people just confused about what's really important. You got the economic situation. They got everybody wrapped so much in the debt ceiling they forgot that they were so scared of the debt ceiling that they didn't want to shut everything down because of it, because everybody's concerned about, what are the effects going to be? It makes your head hurt. And it doesn't if you just ignore it and just do the things. Get out here and do the things. Helps so much. Had a really good ski year. If you've seen the shorts and videos, the ski year was just amazing. This is an old stat. This was actually, I think, like 2 weeks ago. One of the river basins where the snow, they measure the snow and the water content. And one of the basins, of the total amount of water, the snow that they had in that basin, the 2 weeks ago measurement was only 16% had melted to this point. So river flooding is a big issue ongoing around here. So that's one thing. Another thing, that we got tons of water. Farmers have too much water because so many of the farmers' fields are exposed to river flooding. So they're getting plenty of water, but they're also limiting their field use because they can't use fields that are flooded. So that's going on in a lot of places around here. I think it's happening in Cali, it's happening in Northern California, Idaho, Arizona. I think even Northern Arizona's having river issues. Yeah, because I think the all the way through the Colorado. I don't think the Colorado's flooding because they got so much dam mitigation. But what's the? I'm trying to remember the river that runs through Mesquite there, that at Bunkerville. What's that river? I can't remember what that's called, but I'm sure it's running high. I think they had some flooding issues. It's feast or famine. But everybody's buying their luxury homes on the beach by the ocean, but still claiming climate change is going to flood the coasts. Then why did you just buy a house next to the coast? And it's multiple people. It's not like it's just one of them, right? Psychos. Anybody else check in? Rooster. Gerald B. What's up, Gerald? How's it going? Yeah, 4 weeks in Cali. Yeah, right, Rooster? Yeah, I'm sure. Like I said, 16% in that one basin on this side. The whole Eastern Sierra is just overloaded. I was talking with 420 Homestead, who goes by something else on the Twitter, but talking about climbing Whitney. And it's probably just not going to happen this year because there's so much snow. You could get your crampons or some tools and do it if you're going to do it safely. I mean, there's so much snow that feet going through the snow. Even this on a lot of those caps out here, they ain't going to go away this year with the amounts they have, and we've had a really cool spring. So some of the had like 9 inches, several places at 800. I wish we could just bottle this water up somehow. I know they were giving California a hard time because they were letting so much run into the ocean. They're letting a bunch run out into the desert up here because they got to get it through the system before it backs up and floods more fields and towns and everything else. Feast or famine situation. Rifleman, what is up? The Practical Rifleman. Now, is that a name change? That doesn't look familiar, but it looks like it's the what's his name? I can't remember your name now. I just saw a video of yours. You're up in Washington or whatever, though, up there in the Northwest. You're behind the lines, right, Corsair? What's up, man? I check in on your stuff every now and then. I can't catch your lives as much as I'd like. Those are always a good times. The Pirates Cove hang out, where all the pirates be plotting. It's good to see you, Steve. Hope obviously you're doing well. But yeah, everybody's putting out the good word, I think. I don't think anybody in this circle is unaware of the just big debacle that's going on. And that's that slow burn. It's we talked about years ago, the government tyranny, overreach, economic collapse, all rolled into nuclear war and everything else, just slowly moving into our AO. These guys on this end aren't doing so well. I don't know what happened out here. You know, it's funny, I was looking at my corn over here. I'm just scatterbrained tonight. Sorry, guys, but it's been so long. When I put the corn in over here, over the watermelon, you can see where the birds selectively pecked, exactly knowing where the corn I planted was. You know, I just was planting, you know, seeds, and it's like they picked them out, and here you can see some of it growing. But I was looking at those daggum birds are too smart for me. Just planted last week, or actually Memorial Day. I planted it Memorial Day Eve, Ning. So some of it's starting to come up good, but the birds got to some of it, just knowing exactly where the seed was, just blew my mind. Thank you. Anyway, who else we got there? Somebody checking in. Oh, that's Rooster. All right, Rooster, 85 people own more than the other 330 million. Yeah, land ownership is a big issue. We were talking, we got some family land that's being passed around, or people are, it's been passed down the line through the family for so long. It gets bifurcated, right? Because one person, one guy has 10 kids, it gets split between those 10, and they have kids, and not everybody leaves, so somebody else gets a house and an acre, so on and so forth. And I was wondering how much those original plots back there in the mountains went for. Were they 500-acre plots, or were they 1,000-acre? Because we're talking, they settled in there in like the 1740s, 1750s, when they got when they got that land up there. And so it's been divided among the generations since, and many of them, most of them, are still family of relation that live back up in there. Going that, if you look back into it, names, last names, and everything. Some of the women, marry out of the family, but they get a plot. And I was just thinking about, we were talking about how to put it into a trust or something, what's remaining open in one hands, to keep that land from just disappearing, because a lot of it's agriculture. It used to grow tobacco, it grows hay now and stuff, and run animals on it, cattle and stuff. It's like, this is not the time to be parting with that. And the concern is the older members of the family that have that don't have descendants that will necessarily are more than willing to sell it, because they're definitely not willing to work it, and they don't see any other thing other than profiting off of it immediately should somebody pass away. So that's the big concern that we were discussing, about what we could do to put it in a trust or something to avoid that, or what would we need to do, and hopefully we'll figure that out, the right path, because owning land, they ain't making no more of it. If you can do anything is keep your family hands on it, do it. Because, man, it's going to be hard times coming up, and people are going to need places to, even if it's just a place to throw down a tent, I could see it being useful, because this debt thing is coming, this train, it's like a slow moving train wreck that nobody can stop, but everybody knows it's coming. And oh man, just too many people aren't preparing for it, or aren't even aware of it, or they're vaguely aware of it conceptually, but not actually the effects on target. They don't get the full effect that could have. In this bank, I mean, we haven't even talked about the bank collapse on here. I mean, a lot of you guys have, I know, but these banking collapse things aren't, Credit Suisse just got bumped off of, was it S&P 500? It just got bumped out of today. Got bumped off one of the exchanges because they didn't have enough assets or whatever to stay on the market. It's bizarre. Credit Suisse, they're one of the OGs, right? It's bizarre. Things are bad. Bank collapse, who knew, right, Rooster? And all of them are in your state too, Rooster. All over those in your area, which leaves the rest of the country thinking, oh, that's just a California thing. Those weirdos can't do their money. Oh, it's an everywhere thing, and it just hasn't trickled down enough yet and really bled over. And Jamie Dimon there and JP Morgan sitting there licking their chops, ready to suck all that stuff up. Federal Reserve just going to hand that stuff over to them. And before you know it, and it's that whole being the single point of issuance of credit, the Federal Reserve Bank compiled with JP Morgan probably, and they'll figure out a way to public pay for the losses and they get all the gains. And that's exactly where it's going. It's been over 100 years going into effect, and it's working out. and they're just trying to do it in a manner so that people don't burn their houses down while they're doing it, you know. Right, Gerald. That's another thing. You're always paying taxes on it, right? That's a huge issue, and that's one of the things I was thinking about. It's like, if you had cash right now, what would you do? If you just hold on to land, you're just paying taxes on it, unless you can turn it for use somehow to at least get to pay the taxes, which is what a lot of people do. They rent it out for hay or whatever and make enough to pay the taxes, which is good. But a lot of people can't, and that's why they sell off those lots they inherit. People inherit a split lot, 5 acres, an acre, whatever, and they sell it because they don't want to pay the taxes on it. It's almost like that's the plan, That's the plan, is that you don't want it, you don't see how to profit, get it off the bank that ends up putting a loan on it, and the cycle continues. That's the banking scam is the biggest scam of humankind, and here we are. I see Bobby check in. Solar Homestead, what's up, Bobby? Doing your thing. I check in on. I've seen you do some good stuff, Bobby. Still doing all the solar work and everything. Good to see you. Sounds like you're doing well. I think you were doing some good exercise and weight loss, weren't you? Good dieting program you had going on there. The last time I remember seeing you, and you and Frugal Prepper has got some good documented progress that he's made on his diet and weight loss. Frugal Prepper, if you know, he's got like 2 or 3 channels, I think, and I think he moved his diet stuff, his carnivore diet, over to one channel, and he's got his Frugal Prepper's garage or whatever he calls it, but really impressive. Just eating meat for the most part, meat byproducts, meat and stuff. I don't know if that's necessarily for me, but dadgum, it does work, it seems like, if you are looking to get into the changing up your lifestyle. Seems to work well for men. Sideways Coyote also was looking into that. I think he was doing more ketovore, the keto diet, ketovore, with a little bit of whole foods and stuff, but not just meat. But good stuff on the people doing the things. You got to be in some decent shape. Speaking of decent shape, Tony check in? Yeah, there he is. What is up? Good evening, Vietnam. Tony looks like he's doing pretty good. Some pretty fit shape considering how old he was. I was laughing at your video the other day, Tony, and I thought about commenting. I just got busy. If I'd have told you 10 years ago you'll be in Arkansas flying a Confederate flag, what would you have told me? Oh man, I was laughing so hard at that. Like, man, how people have changed and come a long way in our process. And I think it goes for all of us on here and all you out there. The process has definitely changed all of us. I think everybody's seen the freight train coming. They have to do something, so they at least get something done, right? Man, really it's hard to believe I've been on here just over 11 years for making videos. I think I started watching in 2009, but didn't make videos until 12. And man, things have changed a lot on the YouTube. You people out there, us and them, and just the awareness level, everything that's going on, and some of the stuff that's went down since then. Rooster Tony needs to start acting more white. Well, he is partially white, right? Hispanics never want to talk about their Spanish half, That's funny about them. They never want to discuss that European ancestry part. Yeah, it's the other half, the conquistador half of pretty much all of them. It is what it is. Everybody wants to think they're just in tune with the Native Americans. But I just want to check in, show you guys the garden, show what's been going down right here, say congratulations to everybody that's been doing the things, everybody that's been working hard. Everybody's been conquering, adapting, and overcoming. It doesn't look like it's going to get any easier. And as I said in that perspective video I did, it was last year, talking about the possibilities of nuclear war. That's what happens when the wind's always blowing around here. Stuff just blows away if you don't put it away. So I gotta get this stuff put away so it doesn't blow away. I don't think full-on nuclear wars in the cards biblically, but the signs biblically seem to be lining up pretty hard, and people are in full denial on that too. This dedicated month we have to perversion and everything seems to have people not aware of how that plays into the end times. I'm not saying it's gonna be next week, but it does seem to be a part of the puzzle. It's not something, the things that are going on don't make me lead to believe that Revelation is less true. That's for sure. The times we're in don't seem like they would have been possible 20, 30 years ago, but here we are, so. Right, Bobby, you're dedicated. You and Tony are dedicated when it comes to putting those videos out. I can't, I pretty much, obviously, about first year of COVID, I just kind of got to doing the things and just kind of, we've already said it all. We've already told people what to do. We've already shown them what to do. It's like, what other videos am I going to make? Other than just full-on doxing yourself, like, what's the point? Unless you're really good at it. And there's people out there that make really good videos, but I'm just not that good at it. So I just, half the time I just reference old videos like, hey, we talked about this in 2015, 16, this Ukraine thing we were talking about in 14, and just how it was all a thumb in Russia's eye, and it was the EU trying to get into Ukraine and undermine it. And oh yeah, guess what? They're also laundering money through it now. Like, oh man. If things are there for people to see, if they would just open their eyes. But people want to choose sides. People want to think that they're on the winning side. Only winning side's God's side. What's up, Mule? Mule on his weekly check-in at the range. End of 23 prediction. End of 2023? I have no idea, Tony. I think are we going to make 2024? Why wouldn't we? Is Kamala going to be president? I don't know, man. It's like they're really putting Biden out there as a failed president as far as physically. They're really showing it, which makes you lead you to believe that maybe they'll replace him. Maybe they'll, 26th Amendment? That the Republicans would pat their back because, like, oh, we did this, we censured the president, and moved him along. Obviously the Democrats say it'd be the thing to do, and they put Kamala in there as a interim. And do they run her, or are they going to run somebody else? I mean, they've already got guys running, but those are probably just distractions too. The whole thing is people continually commenting, oh, if Trump was in charge of the economy, things wouldn't be this bad. Things were great back then. No, the economy was showing very good signs of collapse in 2019. Documented bond yield inversions and stuff. Like we were telling people, hey, this train's coming. I was doing some my own research. I guess I was looking back through my videos to get some info on something, and on the bond yield inversion, partially talking about that. But also I was realizing, man, we stacked a lot of silver in 2019. 2019 was a good year for stacking here on the channel, and for a lot of people probably. I don't know why you're okay. Somebody else got you, ungrateful. I don't know why it's hiding your comment. Weird. But it's hard to read. Yours is a different. Oh, I see. Let me just pin it so everybody can see it. That may got missed it getting hidden. Yeah, we were making videos about this years ago. But yeah, we stacked a lot of silver in 2019. Man, I was just like, oh my goodness. These are the videos I've made. That's not, it doesn't even count the stuff we got that we did make a video about. Oh, it was a good year. Because you just felt the urgency. I did the video in 2019 about, prepping small, just starting with what you had, using it on a budget. I think we did $20 a week, and we just went through, food, water, and we did that video series on 2019. Like, it was all like, here's it is, just put it all out there. This is everything you need to be doing, thinking about doing, if possible, and any means necessary. Get out there and do the little things, big things, garden, buying your preps, just stockpiling what you can and when you can. All the little things that people talked about for years, like 2019 was just full on effort. And then it's like 2020 come around, it's like, oh, it's time to implement the plan. You guys are kind of on your own, because that's what I was doing. I was implementing what I had. It was really tunnel vision in a lot of respects. And then the continued slide downward in the summers of 2021 and stuff, and just like chaos going on in a lot of these cities. And then the political division, the whole January 6th debacle, and like, oh, there's their Reichstag moment. They've got their Reichstag moment to pat themselves on the back about how tough they are on domestic tourists, right? And that's still going on. That's just like, yeah, man, a lot has went on. Yeah, they do a lot of censorship, Tony. Yeah, I guess maybe that's why I didn't do many videos. I knew that a lot of it would just be, a lot of it's pushed down. The viewership is, the only video I get any views on is my boonie cover video, Tony. That's still a #1 top dog video. I get comments on that video every month or so. It's just funny how YouTube props that video up, and I don't know why. You're cutting the brim of your boonie hat to suit your needs and your fit and your like. But it's got, I don't know how many total views it's got now, but it just, people continue to watch it. If I look at my analytics, it's like, this is your #1 viewed video this month, this year, this quarter. It's like, wow, all time. It's funny. Avengers Guide to the Galaxy, what is going on? Vincent, what is going on? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Right, Mule, at least 20. I thought it was 40 million. I thought it was 40 million, Tony, or Mule, that became felons. Yeah, somebody was joking. I guess the ATF put out a tweet today that said 250,000 people have registered their firearm because of the pistol brace thing. And guy on there is just, he was talking about it, laughing about how they, 250,000 is not nothing compared to 400, or compared to 40 million of them that are estimated to be out there. And I was like, yeah, that's some good propaganda, using that 250,000 when it's just 250,000. And if we look at the real number, it's probably like 180,000, really. And they just round it up, typical ATF talk, and but he did a percentage. It's like 0.68% of the total number of 40 million. He did the math, showed the math there. That makes it really funny, of like, they're trying to make it sound like their 250,000 is a big deal of people that actually, I guess, registered their pistol brace, or are registered, or filing paperwork, or whatever process they're making these people go through and infringing on them. And yeah, it's a drop. It's not even a drop in the bucket. So people are not complying in that realm, which is reassuring in a lot of ways. I think that most people are, when they went through the whole pistol brace thing years ago, when that whole shoulder the brace thing came up, people got tired of it. People were like, I'm done. We're not complying with anything else. And so people who already had them are like, we're done. We're not complying with whatever madness they do next, So whatever's out there is out there, probably. But good to see you guys. I got to go in and get some dinner, do those things. But I just wanted to I did want to get on here and show off my garden, because the things are going well. And hope you guys are doing well. And hang in there, do the things you're doing. You guys are putting on a lot of good content. Adventure Guide to Galaxy showing NVGs and stuff. And there he is. RIP 52O. That's the 420 Homestead, also known as. I was just talking about 420. Well, what was I talking about? I was talking about because I was thinking about a different conversation. Oh, we were talking about going up Mount Whitney. Was that last night before? About the snowpack just being insane and the water out here, just being insane and stuff. I hope your garden's doing good too, 420. But yeah, you guys stay frosty, keep doing the things you guys are obviously doing. You guys are doing well. You talk about somebody doing well, Steve. You're out there growing all kinds of stuff through the winter. That was pretty impressive. He just put video after video of Steve is growing all his random plants and like fruits and veggies and everything else. Like, I know I need to do if I need to do a winter resupply, I'm going to get it from Steve. But yeah, guys, keep doing what you're doing. We'll talk to you later. We'll try to get some more videos out if there's anything worth talking about or doing. But it's mostly just a rehash of everything we've talked about and doing the same things. It's all kind of repetitive at this point. It's almost monotonous in some ways. So that's part of prepping, is just going through the cycle. You prep, you evaluate, plan, work, purchase, implement, and reevaluate. And it's just a cycle. That's the cycle of this whole thing. Seeing what you need to do and need to improve, and just keep doing it. So you guys do the things. Prep hard, live free.